Hello everybody, my name is Benjamin Bloom and I have just witnessed Leeds United 3, Fulham 0. Leeds go back to the top of the Championship and open up a 10-point gap over fourth place now. Fulham, a big result, a big performance. They did not have it all their own way. Bamford giving Leeds the lead in the first half, and then Fulham really on top for the rest of the half. But then the battle switches over to the dugouts, and Marcelo Bielsa with the tweaks at half-time, and then goals from Alioski and Harrison from a ridiculous Pablo Hernandez pass make it 3-0. Fulham did not get a goal when they were on top, particularly in that first half, and they paid the price for it as Bielsa rings the changes to give Leeds the win. Really good watch, really interesting game. Few controversial moments, particularly in that first half that we will talk about. Let's get through the action. We'll have a little look, first of all, at the league table, which will make lovely reading for you Leeds fans. I'm sure there's many of you watching in the chat. Leeds 74 there. West Brom losing yesterday 71. Does that put paid to Fulham now? Still difficult games to go in terms of Leeds and Fulham. Maybe not West Brom and Fulham, but Leeds looking very solid now. 7 games to go. And the gap I really should be looking at there is 8 points. 8 points gap between Leeds and third place there. So maybe we don't necessarily have a full-on automatic chase here, but maybe Brentford and West Brom is a thing to look at. But Leeds in pole position, aren't they, after today's results? Let's go through the action and then I will get to your comments. Get your comments in on today's game and now the finish for the season. Is that a big, huge, decisive step towards promotion for Leeds? Remember, we had this game identified before the lockdown. This is the one. Get through this one and Leeds are looking pretty much home and hosed. Is that still the case? Let me know in the comments. If you're in the chat, hit the thumbs up button and you can support the channel by using the super chat feature to donate. Send me a super sticker or a donation, or you can support on Patreon. But do that after this video. Well, the Patreon bit. Do the super chat during, if you don't mind. Second minute of this game. Big controversial incident there is the still. I think we all agree that Aleksandar Mitrovic is probably going to be expecting a ban, but he managed to get his elbow in on Ben White without either of the officials, the referee or the assistant referee in that half, seen it, or the fourth official for that matter. I don't go against the officials for this one. I think the ball had long gone and it's naughty from Mitrovic. So I don't think it's a case of officials bottling up it. I genuinely think they didn't see, and that will be reflected in the report, and we're likely to see Mitrovic get a 3-game ban here. The opening goal scored by Pat Bamford. Arter with the giveaway in central midfield for Fulham. It gets played out to Costa and he manages to run, the aforementioned Arter, gets into the right wing position. Let's put the picture there up of Bamford finishing it. As Leeds players always seem to do in these crossing positions, they look for the cutback. He finds Bamford, as you can see, 16 yards, 17 yards out, right towards the edge of the box. There's a bit of a crowd scene which he manages to find his way through. Bamford left-footed, low shot there into the corner. Bamford with the opening goal for Leeds on 9 minutes. And then it is all Fulham in the rest of the first half. No big chances. There should have been a big chance when Arter gets played into the box. He cannot quite find Bobby Reid. That was 25 minutes in. That should have been the equalising goal. He just slips it behind him. If Arter can find the ball just ahead of Bobby Reid, I think he's going to equalise there. Some other decent efforts, and then we get to the other controversial moment of the half. And I have been on the IFAB website, so I can explain why the referee does not give handball here. The ball headed away. Tyler Roberts inside the box, as you can see from that image there, hits his right thigh and bounces up, hits his hand. Here is why the referee has not given this one. So all the offences given, it says except for the above offence, it is not usually an offence if the ball touches a player's hand stroke arm. And there is the first bullet point there. Don't worry, I haven't missed anything out. That is in context. If it hits the arm directly from the player's own head or body, including the foot, a penalty is not usually given. That is the IFAB rule for handball in the box. I personally don't agree with that rule, but the referee is refereeing by those laws. I think if a player is in control of the ball and not being challenged, and they say miscontrol it and hits the hands, I think maybe that rule might get tweaked in years to come. But the referee here, perfectly within his rights not to give a penalty there. I'll read it one more time. Not usually an offence if the ball touches a player's hand directly from the player's own head or body. Get your thoughts in on that particular quirk of the laws of the game. We come into half-time. A couple more chances for Fulham. Mitrovic header from a corner and Joe Bryan curling one past the post, coming in, curling one with his right foot. There's a half-time. It was very much in Fulham's favour stats-wise, as we saw with the percentage and the chances, but Leeds with the goal. And I'm sure many Leeds fans will be kind of saying, as I said in the half-time, well, there's been many, many games where we've had the ball, we've had the chances and not taken them. Nice to see Leeds on the reverse of that this time. Fulham did play well from about 15 all the way up to half-time, but no big chances created. And the big moments, Bamford finishing there and a couple of big moments, more refereeing issues rather than anything else. So Leeds in 1-0 at half-time, and here it becomes the battle of Parker versus Bielsa, and Bielsa wins this one hands down, doesn't he? He doesn't like what he's seeing. Arter and Reeder sitting, Kearney ahead. They're winning the midfield battle. Parker normally plays one and then two ahead, but he switched it, so he's got two sitters and one ahead, and they're just absorbing the possession and not letting Leeds get on the ball as much. And Bielsa has the remedy for this, because a double substitution at half-time. Pat Bamford out, so Tyler Roberts goes up top from his midfield position. Helder Costa also out down the right. So Gianni Alioski and Pablo Hernandez come in. Alioski is going to play left midfield, just a little bit of extra pace and bite there. Hernandez drops into central midfield. You can rely on him to receive the ball and keep the ball. Roberts goes up top, as I've said. Jack Harrison moves to the right-hand side. And the balance of the midfield and the ability to keep the ball seems to be better. And does Tyler Roberts give you an out into the corners? Yes, he does. We do see in the first few minutes of this half, Leeds so good on the ball. I'm seeing loads of comments coming. I'll get to them in a minute. We're happy just a couple of times to play into the channels. We're not talking Mick McCarthy ball here, but just had an out ball here for Roberts to run onto, and that did make a difference. Remember, Bamford is much better coming towards the ball, receiving it and playing around the corner. So the substitutions, as we're going to come on to, really, really work here, don't they? However, there is going to be one or two more chances for Fulham in this instance. 48, Roberts sneaks in behind Hector. Now there is a threat in behind, moreover, than when Bamford's on. Left-footed shot across Rodak, kind of Michael Owen FA Cup final position, if you understand that reference. Drags it across the goal. I think Rodak has that one covered. Chance here. Roberts into the channel again, as I mentioned. Cuts this one back, and as I mentioned, Leeds in the wing positions. They never just clip it into the box. Always the cut back, looking for the midfield runner. He finds Jack Harrison. Harrison looks like he's trying to go across the goal here. Reed throws himself in, deflects it the other way, which wrong foots Rodak, and it just flies past the post. He wasn't aiming for that corner, but it's a really good challenge by Harrison Reed here. Knock out with a free kick, easy save for Meslier. And here comes a key moment in the game, because Leeds are going to go 2-0 up, but they're going to score from a Fulham attacking corner. It's Reed on the back post. The big players go near post. Bobby Reed goes by himself to the back post, kind of reverse Brentford corner. They send Pinnock on his own, the big guy. Fulham send a little guy to the back post and manage to pick him out. But it's a poor connection. He leans back. He's kind of on the volley there, hits it into the ground. It bounces up. And Meslier has the ball. And I have to give Meslier some credit here. Gathers it quickly, throws the ball out to Luke Ayling. He moves forward and he slides this one down the line to Jack Harrison in the right wing position. And the counter attack is on. They've broken the press just simply by throw it out to the fullback. Be alert in the mind, on the move, in behind for Harrison, now in the right wing position. Again, Leeds always go for the cutback. It is incredible. He cuts this, and I promise you, 2 red shirts and 1 white shirt all seem to get wrong-footed by the ball, and they all fall over. They go down like sort of skittles in 10-pin bowling or something. Across it goes to Johnny Alioski. There you can see the picture there. He has received the ball there. He's got time to touch it, and look, just gets a good contact, left foot, low into the corner. Nice finish, and the ability there of Alioski to get involved, join in from that counter-attack. Look, I know Jack Harrison is fit as a butcher's dog, isn't he? He would have been doing that from the left-hand side anyway. But would Helder Costa? I wonder indeed. So 2-0, key moment. Bobby Reed misses at one end and Alioski scores at the other. And really, that moment kills off Fulham. They had a couple of bits of territory in possession in that half, but they will rue the fact, Fulham, that they did not take the chances in the first half. From 15, particularly to about 40, they were really on top. And it's the Bielsa tweaks in midfield that has managed to scupper them here. 62, Cabano comes in for Arter. Now Parker, he's chasing the game now. He wants pace, and he is going to cede control of that central midfield area by taking Arter out. Caballero in for knockout. What's he got to do to get a start, Caballero? We don't see them train. And immediately that sub happens, and we're going to get the 3-0 goal. And we don't know how many more of these ridiculous moments from Pablo Hernandez we're going to get, but what a goal this is. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And whatever you say about Steve McLaren's a football man, and he had my exact reaction when watch this back. When the ball's played, he just goes, oh, he loves that pass, McLaren, and I respect him for that. It slid into Pablo in the centre circle. He's got his back, well, he's kind of facing diagonally towards his own corner flag, basically, but he knows where everybody is, doesn't he? As the ball comes into him, remember, there's pace on the ball, so he doesn't need to over-engineer this one. And he knows he can get extra spin because the ball's moving into him. Right foot over his own shoulder immediately before anyone can react. This is a brilliant pass. Brilliant from Hernandez. He kind of slices it and gets some curl on it over his own shoulder. And the ball just completely takes out everybody in the other half. Superb from Hernandez. I know I've been on the Hernandez train for a good couple of years now under Bielsa, but what a pass. Come on. It curls over. As I said, Harrison is as fit as anything, and he can make the run in behind into the box. Defending player is Joe Bryan, does not want to touch him. In Harrison goes into the box. You can see he manages to get it all the way up to the 6-yard box, and you see Rodak has got little chance of saving that. Bryan's getting a red card if he touches him, and he goes down. Brilliant goal. Absolutely superb stuff. For those of you nerds, I possibly think Joe Bryan might have got a little nick on the ball, in which case Hernandez won't get an assist for that because an opposition player touches the ball before the forward player finishes. But I'm sure nobody cares about that minutiae. It's a brilliant goal. It's a brilliant pass. It's a easy finish in the end for Harrison. It's 3-0, and Leeds have done the number. They've survived the Fulham onslaught. The substitutes have worked. Hernandez has got in there. He's made a brilliant pass there. and it's 3-0 and it's game over. Decisive stuff. Brilliant from Pablo Hernandez yet again. There's a whole slew of subs now. A triple one for Parker. He takes out Brian Reed, Bobby Reed that is, and Tom Kearney. So Kearney gets a rest. He'll play. He'll start all of the other games if he's fit. Douglas in for Klitsch. That's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Klitsch never gets substituted, does he? Paveda in for Harrison. So players, important players getting rested here. Look, Kearney, Klitsch and Harrison all going off. Cabano decides to get himself 2 yellow cards. Either side of a Calvin Phillips yellow, gets himself red carded. So he'll have a 1-match ban for Fulham. Shackleton comes in for Hernandez. He doesn't even need to play the whole game. Pablo just comes on, gets that silly assist. There was one other scoop he did as well that nearly played in Roberts. So Hernandez definitely in his kind of Mickey-taking best mode here. Yellow for Cavaliero. But that is the story of this game. Very much ebbed and flowed. Mitrovic gets away with one on 2 minutes. Bamford with the opening goal on 9 minutes. Then, even if you're a staunch Leeds fan, you will admit Fulham dominating the rest of the first half. Didn't make those high percentage chances. Arthur in position doesn't quite find Reed. Bielsa takes over at half-time. He makes the switches. Out goes Bamford, out goes Costa. Reconfigures Alioski in, Hernandez, central midfield, Roberts up front. Harrison switches wings. That does the trick. It's a breakaway goal after a good chance for Reed for Alioski, excuse me, just into the second half. And then the Hernandez masterclass for the third goal. And it is 3-0. We've already thrown this up. Here is what it means for the league table. Leeds 10 ahead of Fulham, 3 ahead of West Brom, and 8 ahead of Brentford. Really, that's the key number. Leeds 8 ahead of Brentford. And I am going to switch over because it's telling me, by God, I've got 101 comments. So look, let's try and get through as many of your comments as we can. Let's see what you guys think. Lana, and genuinely did predict 3-0 there, says G of Little Face. Badger says Leeds are falling apart again. Of course they're not. Yes, 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 says Lee. Happy days. That's why we are going up. There you go. That anxiety should have gone. Badger says Mitro should have been sent off after about 90 seconds. I think we all agree with that. And I think he's got a 3-match ban coming, probably retrospectively. Dale, huge win. Get in there. And Badger agrees with me. Fulham really on top in the first half. But you're looking for the big high percentage chances. They did not create them. Kent, Pablo makes such a difference, world class. Yes, he does. And he's 35. Where do you find a 23-year-old Pablo Hernandez for less than 15 million? Lana's back saying, masterclass in management by Bielsa. It was easy, wasn't it? He made the right tweaks at half-time. Joe says Bielsa's Leeds. Rianne, I think that is Leeds 100% there. Badger says he thinks we're all Leeds fans in the chat. Stephen is here. It's 2 a.m. in Australia, not going to bed anytime soon. Leeds fans, they were anxious, they were nervous, but they've got the win here. There we go, a Leeds fan from Leeds. What does Trainspot says? QPR, they've got Fulham coming up. Heretic says Bielsa calmed the lads down at half time. Passing was better, control at the back. Pablo on allowed Klitsch and Phillips to calm down. Yeah, I agree with that. I think you need to give Fulham some credit. They did play well for 30 minutes, did they? But you also need to look at Ben White and Liam Cooper there. You've got to keep your eyes on Mitrovic, and they didn't give him the big chances there. Mali Pablo, the magician, yes, particularly for that third goal. Remember, though, it was the quick break and the fitness, and we've seen the red arrows of Leeds before, haven't we, flying forward. Leather Sandal says, well played Leeds indeed. Yeah, they played this one really well today. Badger says Mitrovic should definitely be banned for that. I think we can all agree that Mitro is going to get a ban. I don't think this is a controversial one. Look, the officials didn't see it. I don't think they bottled it, and he will be banned. Robert says, good game all around. It was a good watch, wasn't it? I'm a neutral. Look, Fulham were really good for half an hour. It's nice to see Pat Bamford score. And look, if we were in the stadium, we would all pay our 30 quid to see that pass for the third goal, wouldn't we? So, and on that note, Lewis says, the man in my picture is a wizard. Yes, he is. He's been great for the Championship, hasn't he? Linesman says, linesman should have seen it. I'm going to reserve judgment on that. If someone can show me a freeze frame of the linesman with a good view of that, then I will agree. But until I see that, Andrew says he's effing buzzing. There we go. Shaft says that was very unlike Leeds, less possession than our opponents. We have seen over and again Leeds dominate games and not win. I think in the end it probably was an easy victory, but they did have to. At the end of the first half, it was a reverse Leeds performance, wasn't it? Other team having possession and being behind. Ian, wonderful Ian, thank you. Super chat there from Ian, donating £10, loving the content. He's high on life and he's saying Leeds. Badger says doesn't blame the ref, sight was blocked. The ball, if you watch that back, White clears the ball. There's probably a full second and a half before Mitro clatters in there. I don't think Parker's going to be happy with Mitro if he's out for 3 games. Mike, so many times we've dominated in games and didn't get what we deserved. First half, Fulham were really good, but Bielsa. Yeah, I said this before the game. I said, look, Fulham probably pound for pound actually got as many good players, if not more, better players than Leeds. But look on the touchline. You've got the master Bielsa, or is the master Neil Warnock if you've seen the Middlesbrough result. But you've got the master Bielsa, and you've got a guy, Parker, who's doing his best, but he's a year into the job. And yeah. Mally says EFO will ban Mitro. Yeah, of course they will. Meslier, man of the match, says Andrew. Do you have any saves? No tricky ones, really. Max says Karma is a bitch and the name is Mitrovic. There we go. 3-game ban. I think we're labouring the point here. Mitrovic will definitely get banned for that. I think it's fairly cut and dried, isn't it? James says all Leeds are. I want to read as many of your comments as possible. Patrick says excellent second half from Leeds. Yeah, they controlled it and they were the masters of the big moments. And look at that 55th minute there. Maybe if Reed just takes a touch and hits that low, maybe he scores and it's 1-1. I think Steve McLaren said exactly the same thing, but no, up the other end. Colm, finally a Fulham fan in here. Mitro and Cabano maybe showing how they feel about Scott Parker's management there. Well, cue all the Leeds moaning about Mitrovic's elbow, probably rightly so. And then in a month's time, why don't we sign him? There we go. Sky commentator saying how unlucky Fulham were. They need to understand. Not taking chances, not unlucky, but poor finishing. Yes, that also applies to Leeds many, many times, doesn't it? Kieran says, thank God for that. He is relaxed. Now, Charles, Cardiff was the game for Leeds to lose. This was the game to win. Yeah, that's very true. Beat your direct rivals. Nathan, anyone know if there was any free kicks given in the first 10 minutes of the game? I'm sure there were. Andrew Mitrovic overrated. Not sure about that, but yeah, very good player, but yeah, a bit naughty on minute 2. Badger says, rubbish, Ben. How can that be a penalty? Not sure you'd think it was a penalty if it was against Ipswich. What are you talking about, Badger? I never said there was a penalty in the game at all. I said it wasn't a penalty, for goodness sakes. Let's bring up the, before anyone accuses me of talking rubbish, because I said the exact opposite. Let's bring this down. I said this was not a penalty. I will repeat, it was not a penalty. Except for the above offences, it's not usually an offence if the ball touches the player's arm directly from their own head or foot. I would like to reiterate, I have now said in this broadcast 3 times, it was not a penalty, and I have brought up. You think if you bring up the IFAB rules, that you'd get away with saying it's not a penalty. I still said it's not a penalty, and someone says I'm talking rubbish. Maybe they've got the wrong end of the sticks. Mike has donated me 70 ZARs. I don't know what that is, but thank you very, very much. Let's have a look here. 3 points clear off 8 points. 3rd place. I think Rich is trying to say yes, I agree. Charles says not a penalty. Yes. Everyone agrees with me. Let's reiterate my position. I have read the IFAB rules. If the ball hits your knee and hits your hand, it is not a penalty. According to the laws of football, I agree it was not a penalty, but I do think that rule might get looked at in years to come because he's unchallenged and it's basically a miscontrol against your own hand. But yes, all Leeds fans, it was not a penalty. The rules say it wasn't a penalty. The ref didn't give a penalty. I said it's not a penalty, and I'm still getting accused of talking rubbish. But there we go. What can you do? Bielsa, perfect subs today. I agree, says Andrew. King Tut, massive step for us. Much more positive love from Yorkshire. Indeed. Come on, you Hatters, said Glenn. I didn't give him a hope of beating Swansea, but we'll do that on the review tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Badger, he says, what a pass by Badger. You're in my bad books, Badger, for saying I was talking rubbish. Michael, wonderful. Michael, thank you. A super sticker there, a £10 donation. Thank you so much. This is not just for my wine fund. This is for me trying to do this full time. Andrew says, Leeds, 22 wins. 8 losses, 8 draws, 9 losses, 59 scored, 32 conceded, 74 points, top of the league, 7 to go. Sorry, I can't read. Deary me. Derby, Ridley Dumpty, Derby County getting the playoffs. Derby are now up there with Wigan and Leeds, probably as the form team here. Andrew, a Fulham fan here. Parker out now. He's absolutely clueless and so far out of his depth. Andrew is not happy. Remember, there's still a playoff campaign to come. Indeed. Ridley says, best team since the turn of the year. In fact, Michael says, get in, Leeds. Just what was needed. Dale says, after QPR, I would not be shocked if Fulham lose them all. My God, he's expecting a collapse there. I don't think they will, but I would not be shocked. Let's have a look here. Chosen One says it's officially a 3-horse race now. I could see Brentford pipping West Brom to second. Let's have another little look at that table. Leeds 3 clear of West Brom. West Brom 5 clear of Brentford. Is it a 3-horse race? Get your thoughts in the comments there. Let me go back to your comments. Badger says all 3 Leeds goals were belters. Yes, they were indeed. Mally, Cardiff quietly going about their business, and the Warnock effect there. Yeah, have a look out for Cardiff and Derby as well. There we go. Dale says 4 red shirts that it passes. Absolutely incredible, wasn't it? Along the floor, and everyone just gets wrong foot and all falls down together. Indeed. Let's see if we can get more of your comments in. Yes, let Borough win. The Warnock effect kicks in. Charles agrees Cardiff being the dark horses. We'll go all through this tomorrow, 7 p.m. Look, Marcelo himself is in the feed. There we go, with some thumbs up indeed. Scarpula says that pass was Pirlo-esque. It was lovely, wasn't it? Plucky, I think Parker has been bailed out by having the Championship All-Star team. Think back to the home game against Blackburn. I was there where Fulham won 2-0. Parker might not be cut out for management. We'll see. I've always said about Parker the whole season that anything other than promotion is going to be considered failure unless he loses very unluckily in the playoffs or something. But it's looking that way. Badger says he didn't get the assist on. Yeah, I didn't think he would on the BBC website. It doesn't matter. We all know how good that pass was. Dale says with that team, Fulham should be walking the league. Certainly has the best striker, doesn't he? Duff, could someone enlighten me if the rules are different between the Premier League and the EFL? No, they are not. Only that we have VAR in the Premier League, but you don't. So you'll have some rule variances where VAR is concerned. But no, IFAB does the rules for the game, sends them to FIFA, and everyone should follow them. Jake, all Leeds, aren't we? Andrew says, don't listen to the BBC. They talk out their backsides. I'm going to defend the BBC. I can't believe I'm going to do this. I mean, whether we listen to... I was told 2 years ago by a statistician, look, assists, probably don't need to look at them. Start looking at key passes and progressive passes. An assist is not credited to someone if an opposition player, even the ball skims off them or deflects or whatever. So Pablo plays that ball through absolutely beautifully. Harrison touches it, but I think Brian just gets the slightest little touch on it. At that point, Pablo's pass is gone. It's a new phase of play because Brian has touched the ball. I think we all understand that that goal doesn't happen without that amazing pass. But in the pure terms of assist, the definition of an assist, he doesn't get it. But hey, I'm already having people argue with me, despite the fact I'm quoting the exact terms. But I don't think that matters. And guys, look at progressive passes, look at key passes rather than assists. My argument has always been, I call this the Jonas Knudsen argument. Jonas Knudsen played the ball 2 yards to Burton Selina, who dribbled around 3 players and smashed it into 30 yards. Knudsen gets an assist, right? If Selina dribbled past 8 players, squared the ball off the box, across the box, but it touches the goalkeeper, he doesn't get an assist. So assists are, you know, look at them in context is all I would say. Luke says, get in, I hope. Max says 19 is God. Duff says, I found the handball rule, so a handball will not be awarded if the ball touches a player's hand arm directly from their own head, body or foot, or a player who's close nearby. Yes, Ducks, you are 100% right. If a player is close in, that is considered, I think, we're going into the deliberate, etc. But look, they've got a specific clause in their rules. So if the ball, I don't know, ricochets off your head there and hits your hand there, it's not considered deliberate and not considered a penalty. Remember, the tweak from IFAB this year was if it either stops a goal or happens in the build-up to a goal, then they'll say that that's, it doesn't matter that it's not deliberate, and they'll chalk off the goal. So please, everybody, especially if you're going to accuse me of talking rubbish, please read the rules, because this is not opinion. This is fact. The referees are looking at it based on these rules. You can download the IFAB app to your phone and never be wrong about this. You can have your opinion on whether you think the rules are fair or in the spirit of the game or not. But if the referee rules on what IFAB have said, the referee has got it right. And that is a fact. Charles, Ben, Hernandez played for that nick on the Fulham player as such is class. There we go. Derby. Where are we? Where am I looking? There we go. Badger's back. Sorry, Ben. I love you, really. It's 12:30 a.m. in Oz, and I'm here with you. I'm here with you too, Badger. And what you didn't realise is that I totally agreed with you. Duncan says, White did a great job on Mitrovic today, especially after the early incidents. Duncan, I would go further than that. I thought, and I was there, I thought White played Mitrovic really well in the first game as well. I know Mitrovic scored from the spot, but that was a very dodgy penalty kick, wasn't it? As well. Mike says he bought me a pint. Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you, everybody, getting involved in the super chat. Here we go. Warnock's back, isn't he? Brandon says Neil Warnock's Red and White Army. Max, love your work, BB. Martin, look, got lots of happy fans in here today. A Luton fan, amazing. First 2 games for Luton. Heretic says Luton won't be easy, but that could be the key game. Other results go. Oh, wait, is it Luton next for Leeds? I cannot quite remember. Alistair says, when's the championship weekend review? 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Come and join in. Absolutely brilliant. Badger, he's back in my good books now. He says, who cares about the assist? Again, I agree with you, sir. Assists are in need of context greatly, aren't we? You know, the fact that a player can tap a free kick 6 inches to the side and another one can smash it in from 30 yards, and the player who taps the free kick gets an assist, yet Pablo Hernandez doesn't get an assist for that brilliant pass tomorrow. Gotra, hi Ben, marching on together indeed. Heretic, IFAB does laws, leagues do rules indeed. The bounce issue is right and remains as the context is the ball touching someone's hands in the penalty area. The scenario returns to the international concept. There we go. You never get this on the TV, do you? People actually referring to the rules. It amazes me. You see ex-pros who've played 300 games who clearly do not know what the laws are and do not refer to them. Absolutely incredible. Thunderbolt says 89 points. That's what is that what you're projecting for Leeds are going to get, or is that what's going to, well, that will definitely get you promotion, especially this season. Joshua says a Phobie hat-trick tomorrow. Come on, you Reds. A Phobie back for Bristol City. Mally says Biel's the man of the match. I think we can all get behind that. Badger says Luton on Wednesday. Indeed. Yeah, come on. Leeds fixtures evening out now after a couple of difficult ones. Tuesday even, says Mally. Max says, Mitrovic, have a good holiday. Remember, though, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, he's only going to be off for a week, isn't he? So, yes, there we go. Right, thank you, everybody, for watching. The story of today, a brilliant win for Leeds to put them, let's bring that table up one more time. A brilliant win for Leeds to put them 3 clear of West Brom at the top, to put them 8 clear of Brentford. That's the key number. 8 points clear with 7 to go. They are 10 points clear of Fulham. Our Fulham, just a blip in the distance for Leeds. Now, the story of the game. Mitro gets away with one on 2 minutes. Naughty, naughty elbow. Look out for a 3-match retrospective ban for that. Bamford gives Leeds the lead on 9 minutes. And then Fulham on top, but in very Leeds fashion, not getting the goal. No big chances created. No high-value XG. No high percentage chances. Bielsa, tweaky at half-time, makes all the difference. A corner falls to Bobby Reid. He misses the shot. And Leeds counter. Alioski, one sub, receives the ball from Harrison to make it 2-0. Then it's all Pablo for that second goal. 3-0 to Leeds. Let's do some shout-outs in the comments. Big shout-out for Badger. Says, thanks, Ben. A big shout-out. We had 3, wasn't it? Amazing super chats in this one. And I got 70 Zar, whatever that is. King Tut says, God bless everyone. Badger says, loving the table. Thunderbolt gives me a round of applause. There we go. Martin with a round of applause there. Cheers, Ben. Excellent day at the office. I think I did have an excellent day at the office today. Everyone's much happier in the chat when their team wins. There we go. Right. Thank you for watching. We'll have a look at the fixtures and see how maybe hungover I am tomorrow, because I'm off outside in a minute to have a barbecue, which all you people was delayed so I could do this. We've told our guests not to arrive soon. Our guests that will be in the garden and socially distancing, not in the house, before I get any stick on YouTube for literally breaking the law. We're not going to. I am a law-abiding citizen. Right. Everybody, thank you for the super chats. You can donate to the channel via super chat here on YouTube and sending me a sticker. You can do that after the fact as well if you're watching. I am 3 more weeks of work until my job doesn't exist, and I would love to do this part-time. So I'm now getting contributions on Patreon and on YouTube. I'd love to do this as part of my living. The more time I spend doing this, the better content I can give for you guys. You can also subscribe on Patreon. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to Luke, says Leeds are going up. Gotcha says, thanks, Ben. Shout out there. Shout out to Charles as well, says, great show. Right, I'm going to go and eat my body weight in food and drink several bottles of red wine. Luke says, see you in the Prem. If I get enough Patreon and Super Chats, I'll be able to do this to the point where I can do as many Premier League videos as Championship videos. There we go. Watch my job, Ben. Education, where the regulations are changing very, very swiftly. And what I do breaks them all, apparently, and breaks all the bubbles. Radaby quickly says, fantastic win. Must follow up by beating Luton. King Tut, have a great day. Enjoy your barbecue. I must head outside. It was Leeds 3, Fulham 0. Oh, there we go. 70s are £3.28. Wonderful. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Who was it who sent it? Was it Mike? I think. I can't remember. I'm sorry if I credited the wrong person. Thank you, Ronald. Max says, I'm awesome. You're all awesome. I'm going to go Leeds 3, Fulham 0, over and out. Shall I just do this one more time so we can see? There we go. Leeds top. 74, 71, West Brom, 66, Brentford, 64, Fulham. Thank you for watching. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, super chat, Patreon, Twitter @BenjaminBloom, Instagram